What's good, family? Shout out to my general sly tendencies for boosting up Yamanda YB's coins, no doubt. Wow. So Yamanda YB just finished watching Chris Eubank versus Liam Chiniams. Now, man, you know what? I'm glad I took 10 minutes to kind of compose myself, because I was frothing at the end of that fight. Who the F does Chris Eubank think he is? And I can't even, again, the thing is, at the start of the fight, or a few rounds into the fight, I was actually giving Chris some credit on my notes. I wrote down that, fair play, people criticised Chris Eubank saying, oh, he tried to be Roy Jones, but guess what? As far as trying to be Roy Jones goes, with that check left hook, it was down pat. So I was giving him credit. Yeah, down pat left hook. And I thought, okay, he's going to get the check left hook going, and then later in the fight, he's going to build and go for the stoppage. There was no way in that first 3 rounds, put him down about 10 times. I thought there's no way Chris Eubank is going to be dragging this out all night. What happened to... This fight really sums up the state of the sport at the moment. There's no ambition whatsoever. Look, another guy, similar, going down the same kind of way. Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was very exciting. He gets with Ben Davis, and now he does the same thing against Ramirez. Undisputed fight. Starts fanning around for the last few rounds. Just dancing around. Oh, I want to prove I can box. Who says that? I tell you who started it. Anthony Johnson. I'm sick of it. And who do these people think they are? Oh, I wanted to prove I could box. I wanted to show a different style. Ain't no one trying to see that style. What's wrong with you goofies about I want to show a different style? Don't lie. That's nothing. Stop lying. Nothing to do with wanting to show another style. You shit your pants, didn't want to get stuck in. That's the bottom line. But, Chris Eubank was saying, oh, I didn't even want to KO him. I wanted to punish him. You didn't punish him. You're fanning around. And you caught him cold. Now, again, I give you full credit. That check left hook was doing what he's supposed to do. But you didn't punish him. You caught him cold, and that was that. He came, and to his credit, yeah, Liam Chiniams, to his credit, he showed real minerals. Yeah, obviously, he ain't got the best whiskers. Obviously, Liam Amir Khan Chiniams ain't got the best whiskers. And I think a lot of it really was to do with the fact that it was pressure. That looked to me like, I bet you any money in the gym, Liam Chiniams doesn't go down like that. I think it was a big event, home stadium, a lot of cortisol. We know these chemicals, these stress chemicals, the interaction with the pathways in the body is unstudied. We don't really know how it works. And I've got a theory that when you've got a lot of stress and a lot of stress chemicals in your blood, it makes your body react in different ways. I guarantee you, if them same shots landed in training, Liam Chiniams would have taken them. But on the night under the lights with all the stress, it just caught him, just kind of short-circuited him. And we saw actually, as he got, and the evidence also shows that even though he was getting more tired and more damaged throughout the fight, he wasn't going down as much, which shows you, in my opinion, it was to do with being caught cold and being stressed at the start. Once he warmed into the fight, and once he was more comfortable and found his, and what, you know what I mean, it wasn't all brand new and first big event. Don't forget, Liam Chiniams, he hasn't had a big fight. He hasn't had a massive fight in his home turf, and it's all eyes on him before. And that's what it really looked like to me. And I can't, to be honest with you, part of me I was screwing at the start. I thought it was going to be a fix. When I saw him, bear in mind, in the build-up, yeah, the way them two men were yammering on, I thought, listen, I thought there's no way he's going to be on the floor. And he just kept on jumping on the floor. I thought, nah, it's a fix. I thought, get this scam out of there. But to his credit, it went from this is a fix to this is a hard man. Because guess what? Most people, look at Anthony Joshua, yeah? Anthony Joshua doesn't even go down but gets clipped. And his back end flaps for the rest of the 12 rounds. To Liam Chiniam's credit, he got put down, and every time he came straight back forward. Straight back on it. Yeah, he worked his way. He worked his chin into the fight. Most people, their back end starts flapping and they run away. And that's actually arguably what saved Liam Chiniams tonight, was that aggression. Because guess what? I'll guarantee you, if Liam Chiniams had been put down and backed off and allowed Chris Eubank to get his lipstick out, he probably would have got stopped. Because I think at one point, Liam Chiniams did get dropped and he backed off, and that actually caused Eubank to come forward and start sniffing for something sweet. So I'll give Chiniams some credit there. Now, because we can't blame, I mean, if you ain't got no whiskers, you ain't got no whiskers. Or if your whiskers are cold, your whiskers are cold. One thing I will say though, one thing that was technique-wise, He was lunging, and when you lunge, people who've done boxing before, when you lunge, yeah, it moves all of your, It moves all of your form out. So you can, to be fair to Liam Chiniums, he actually had a pretty high guard. His guard was pretty tight. But when you lunge, when you lunge with a shot, it moves all your body out of. So if you're standing, obviously being stable, we can all look like we've got some tight defense. But when you start moving and lunging, it moves all your body out of place, and that's how Eubank was able to capitalise and catch him with a check counter left hook, whip, and that was clipped him a few times. But then again, to be honest, out of I think there was 4 or 5 knockdowns, half of them were pushes. The last one was definitely a push, and one of them in there was a push. There wasn't 4 clean chips on the chin. But so that really, and that's why, in my opinion, if you take out the fact that there was half of the knockdowns were fake news knockdowns, and if you account for the rest of the knockdowns, I actually believe Williams won the fight. Based on how pathetic, I was screwing, no word of a lie. Yeah, I was screwing. Because there was one point in the 11th round, they started getting stuck in a bit, and I thought, okay, Chris is going to build this now and go for the stoppage. I mean, how can you not? Like I said, at the start of the fight, I thought, bear in mind, Eubank had about 3 knockdowns in 1 minute. I thought, there's no way someone can be content with dragging this out based on how the fight was going. It was clear, yeah, if Chris Eubank, or not clear, because I'm not going to give him credit for something he didn't do, but in theory, the next logical step was, okay, when Chris Eubank puts the hammer down a little bit, he's going to, Liam Chiniums is begging to go. That was a logical step, and Eubank didn't put the hammer down once. Didn't want to go for it, and then he tries to sell it to us. Oh well, I wanted to prove I could box. Get out of there, you goofy. You were shook. You were scared to commit. That's what you was. Bottom line, I'm sick. I don't want to. From now on, yeah, I don't want to hear it. I want to show a different side to my game. No, you're scared. Bottom line, yeah. Same as Josh Taylor in the Ramirez fight. In the Ramirez fight, Josh Taylor scored early knockdowns and then flapped for the last 3 rounds. And that's exactly what Eubank done. And it was embarrassing because Eubank was actually showing off like he's doing something special. He was doing all the feet. Like, what is that? And you can tell in his mind, yeah, he thought he was really cool. He thought, I'm like, Leno, you're a goof, is what you is, Eubank. I'm embarrassed. And that's why I actually, even though Chris Eubank is Team Lighty, yeah, I don't care. I want Alvarez to pop his cherry. Just on principle. Just because of that last round. Yeah? Because of that last round, I want Alvarez to pop that goofy's cherry for him. And lay him flat out. Doing all that. What's that about? I'm sorry. That don't work for me. I don't know. I don't get that at all. Yeah, if you're gonna run, just run and keep your head down and be. You know what? If you're gonna run and flap for the rest of the fight, keep your head down and be embarrassed of yourself. Keep your embarrassment to yourself. But the fact that you're out there, he was trying to stun like it was something cool. Let me tell all you funny style boxers something right now. Yeah, the only thing I want to see you stunting about is when you're about to pop someone's cherry. For example, let me give you some references here. When Alvarez was fighting Billy Joe Saunders, yeah? And he knew he had Billy Joe Saunders got. What was he doing? He was taunting. He was jeering the crowd up. That's what I want to see. That's the only time I want to see you taunting. If you're running for your life, I don't want to see no taunting. You should be in shame. It's a boxing fight after all. And that's what makes it worse for me is you actually winning. Not only was Eubank winning, he was the one who had all the scary point. Sorry, he had all the damage. He was the one who was dangerous in the fight. I'm thinking, what the? Same as Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was the only one dangerous in the fight, but yet you're running for 3 rounds because I'm up on the cards anyway, so I might as well flap. Nah, man, that's not how it's supposed to go. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I bet there's a whole bunch of new age Ben Davison types. Oh, but bro, it's not about rock'em sock'em, bro. I don't care what you want to say. I want to see rock'em sock'em. The public want to see rock'em sock'em, especially when that's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah? I'm sick of this new age crap. Oh, well, look, I bet there's a whole bunch of new age Ben Davisons who are literally stroking themselves off. Oh, wow, look at the skill of Eubank. He was able to run for all night. And that's why I said, if it wasn't for the there's no doubt about that Eubank won, but if it wasn't for the knockdowns, yeah, if Liam Chiniums' chin had held down and not got chinned every time, he'd have won that fight, in my opinion. Because Eubank wasn't doing jack. He was just running all night. The whole night he ran. I thought, and that's the thing, there's got to be balance. Eubank says, I want to show I got some more skill than just being a brawler. And that's fair enough, and I give him credit for that. His check hook was on point, and that is something he added to his game. But what happened to being dynamic? What happened to having multiple games? These days, it's almost like one or the other. It's almost like, I mean, look at AJ versus Pulev. It was almost like, okay, I'm either going to shit my pants and run around all night, or I'm going to go hell for leather and throw a million shots at once. Where's the middle ground? Why couldn't Eubank have done a bit of back foot and a bit of aggression on the front foot? And I believe doing that, that's how you break someone down. No one's asking you to go in there, just march forward every time, but where's the mixture? All Eubank did is shit his pants for the whole night, running around, dance. That's all he did, run around. That's the bottom line. I don't care what no one says. And the few times he did actually exchange, Williams looked rocky. Sorry, Chiniums. Yeah, Liam and Mia Khan Chiniums look rocky. And it's embarrassing. How can you have someone in that state? How can you have put someone down 4 times in 2 rounds and you're running around for the rest of the fight? And you actually think you're smart. Eubank thought he was sick, didn't he? I thought, what's this guy doing? He actually, did no one tell him? You look a muppet. I've never seen someone look so goofy. And then to come out and try and play it off. And fair play, yeah, to Johnny Nelson. He didn't chill. Johnny Nelson said, I don't believe you. You couldn't have got the KO. If you could have got it, you'd have got it. You couldn't get it. You didn't want to risk yourself. You liar. Stop lying. Oh, I want to prove I can box. Oh, I could. Oh, that's another thing. Oh, this was the bit that got me, yeah? So I'm already screwing for the fact that he fannied around. Because to be fair to Williams, to his credit again, and that's why I believe if it weren't for the knockdowns, Williams would have won in my eyes. Because he was pushing the fight. He wanted to fight. And he was charging forward, begging to get in Eubank's panties for him. Yeah, begging for it. And Eubank running around. And I'm already pissed off. Because to be fair to Williams, he wanted to fight. Now, there was some points where Williams was doing some suspect things. Like, for example, he was clinching way too much. The few times Eubank did end up on the inside, a lot of the time, your man Chiniums was engaging the clinch, which is a bit of an oxymoron, or a bit of a contradiction in my mind. Like, if you're going to push the fight, if you're going to push the pace, don't be the one to initiate the clinch, because then it's kind of like, well, what's the point? You're just fronting, isn't it? Being all aggressive to a man that's running, and then the minute he stands, you want to clinch. It's kind of like, well, what was the point in doing that? So that, to an extent, Liam Chiniums was fronting, but you can't really blame him when he had no chin. But either way, both men really could have done things better here. But listen, check this out. So Liam Chiniums chasing down Eubank, yeah? 2-2s. He starts dancing around some more after the fight, rather than saying, yeah, you know what, I was up 11 rounds, and I felt like I should flap for the. I felt like I could feel like, yeah. I was up for 11. I won the 11. I knew I was winning the fight. So in the last round, I decided. Sorry, yeah. I knew I was winning after 11 rounds, and going into the last round, I could feel my back end just twitching a little bit. It was flicking. I could feel it flickering. Yeah, I could feel it mumbling. So I thought, oh wait there a minute. What's that weird aroma? Sorry, what's that weird? I got what I'm saying. That's what he said, 100%. Chris Eubank said, after the 11th round, he felt a weird motion in his back end, and he thought, you know what, I'm twitching. My back end's flapping. I better not, yeah, my back end's purring like a cat. I better not go in there and do anything about it. I best run some more, 100%. So I can't blame Eubank for feeling what he was, all Eubank was doing was reading his body's signals, and his body told him, you are a flapper, you're a massive whopping flapper. Yeah, and your back end was purring like a Persian cat, you big scary ass. But having said all that, so Amanda YB's already screwing, and if anyone wondering why I don't buy pay-per-view, that's a perfect example why I don't pay. Because you've got one end, you've got a man, Eubank, doing nothing. I mean, how are people getting paid millions for that? I'm sorry, I understand, I don't care what no one says. Oh bro, it's so I don't care how dangerous it is. There's plenty of other careers don't get paid $1 million for 30 minutes work for that trash. That was crap. And it's no wonder, yeah, that boxing is where it is. It's no wonder no one wants to watch boxing. And it's no wonder people want to watch UFC and whatever else. Because at least UFC entertaining. 9 times out of 10 there's some sort of stoppage. In boxing, you're lucky. You're actually lucky to get a stoppage these days. Because of these kind of things. You have people telling you, oh, I want to show you I can box. What? Oh, I didn't want to knock him out. What? What the I swear down, back in the day, 50 years ago, the whole thing was getting knockout. That was the point of boxing. It wasn't the whole point. I mean, if you want examples of how we know this, well, the whole infrastructure around boxing was based on KOs. What do we know? There never used to be rounds. There never used to be 12 rounds. It used to be the fight goes until someone spark out. or until someone quits. And that's how it should be, in my opinion. This whole 12 round crap needs to go, because what it does is, it encourages people to do this kind of crap. Well, I'm getting paid 10 million anyway, so I might as well just fanny around. But guess what? If it was the last man standing, there'd be a lot more incentive to go in there and crack on. It's too easy these days. It's too easy to be a flapper, like Chris Eubank. It's an embarrassment, and I can't wait. Even though he won't, there's no way Eubank going to fight. There's no way Eubank is going to want to get his cherry popped by Alvarez, but I hope he does, because I'll be laughing when you're splattered on the floor. What I want to see is, let's see how much running Eubank can do against Alvarez. That's what I want to see. Goofy ass, yeah, because Eubank, the problem with you is you look so good and so cool against bums, yeah, against chiniums, but the minute you're in there with someone half decent, you get your head boxed off. Like, even shot to bits George Groves boxed your ears off. Yeah? So let's see how many twinkle toes you're doing then, when Alvarez fixing to pop your cherry and push last week's dinner back in for you. 100%. I'm telling you now, Canelo Alvarez will push Chris Eubank's dinner all the way back in for him. Go right back in, and it'll come out the other end. Yeah? But, and that's another thing. So right there, I've just watched Eubank fanny around for a round. Well, in fact, he fanny around for the whole fight, but in particular, the last round was taking the piss. And the way he thought he was cool. I don't know why the fans weren't booing more. They should have been booing. The whole place should have been booed down, in my opinion. But so I'm already screwing after seeing that. Next thing I know, Chris Eubank saying, "Oh, I didn't want to KO him because I wanted to punish him." Yeah, I didn't want to KO him because that was too easy. I wanted to punish him. Punish him? He was charging forward, begging for more. But what planet? What, seriously? The problem is, you see, most people today, including Chris Eubank, they're surrounded by beta male orbiters, people who just sit back in the cut, sucking them off. So no one's ever told Chris like I've told Chris. I told Chris to his face, yeah, you're a bum slayer for a start, and I don't know what you think you're doing, but it ain't cool. Whatever that was, it was goofy. Yeah, you look like a schmuck. Everyone thinks you're a schmuck, Chris Eubank. But again, I bet his whole camp, clearly, because if I was in the camp, that kind of behaviour wouldn't be acceptable. Under no circumstances do I want to see you doing goofy, unless you knock someone out, or unless you're about to knock someone out, I don't want to see you doing none of that crap, because what's it for? Yeah, the whole point of having twinkle toes is to do something with it. Having twinkle toes to run and do naff all, well, who want to watch that? I don't. And then to have the audacity, we've all watched you shit your pants for 12 rounds and literally be scared. Chris Eubank ran all night, the whole night running backwards. Not one point did he move forwards. He cacked his pants the whole night, and then after the fight, he wants to talk about, see, I didn't want to KO him because I wanted to punish him. You didn't punish no one, Chris. I saw you throw, apart from a left hook, yeah, check left hook, and a jab, that's all I saw you throw. And I'm not being funny, after the first 3 rounds, even Liam Chiniums clocked on to that shot. It's like, is that all you got? One check left hook. Literally, after that game was clocked, that was it. He had no other cards. And all he had was a little jab. And apart from that, what did he do the whole night? I didn't see no right hand. I didn't see no right hook. I didn't see no... in fact, I saw a few uppercuts, but nowhere near enough. And Chris Eubank used to be known as the uppercuts and hooks man. Oops. But I wanted to punish him. There was nothing... Let me tell you now, Chris. Just in case all the beta male orbiters in your camp don't tell you. There was nothing punishing about you being in there with Liam Chiniums. Apart from catching him cold, you did nada. And by the way, to his credit, he showed you how much he wasn't doing because he came marching forward. I've never seen a punished man march forward for more. Oops. Yeah, that's how much punishment you weren't doing, Eubank. Goofy. Wait a minute. Imagine that. Imagine. Let's just think about this for a second. Imagine being chased and running for your life for 12 rounds, and in particular the last round. And then after the fight, talking about how, yeah, I was punishing him. What? You just spent 12 rounds running. You weren't punishing no one. What planet are you on, Chris? Yeah? Get rid of all the beta male orbiters in your camp, gassing you up. Oh, yeah, you're really punishing him. What? Liam Chiniums was so pissed off, he actually stood there himself in the 11th round and begged the referee to do something. I think a point should have been taken off at least. I think he should have been disqualified, truth be known. I think he should have been warned and then disqualified. That's what I think should have happened. Because seriously, who want to watch that? People forget this isn't an amateur sport where we watch for the sake of watching. This is a professional sport, and we watch. It's prize fighting. which means it's prize fighting. It's not fanny around fighting. And you didn't win no prize. Apart from the, to be fair, I think Chris Eubank, he needs to look at taking up the 10k, I think, or maybe the marathon. Nah, probably now. Marathon's too long, but the 10k for sure. Chris Eubank needs to look at taking up the marathon with Mo Farah. Yeah, I think we can get Team GB double in the 5k and 10k with Mo Farah and Chris Eubank, because he's good at running. He the best at running, 100%. He got that, and we always know Chris Eubank. He got a good engine. Yeah, so I do believe. Trust me, 2024. We're gonna have a trust me. Team GB distance running is gonna we got that down pat. Golden. We're gonna go gold and silver. We're gonna have Mo Farah and your man's Chris Eubank, 100%. No one can listen. That's the team made of dreams. People dream of a team like that. Yeah, people dream of a distance running team like Chris Eubank and your man's Mo Farah. Anyway, I mean, this just leaves a sour taste in my mouth, but it really is a standard occurrence for the state of boxing. People say, why be you so negative? I don't want to be negative. I'd love to come on there and tell you, oh, he went in there, got stuck in, and it was a wicked fight. And I can't lie, at the start of the fight, I thought this has the bones to be a good fight. I was expecting Chris at some point. Okay, I've put him down 4 times. I know I can hurt him. Let's start building now. Let's bring this to a conclusion. Let's actually do what we talked about doing, punishing him. And after all that hype, and to be fair, like I said, I'm not saying Liam Chiniums, he wasn't perfect either. He weren't really doing much. He ended up, half the time, clinching, which made no sense. He was applying pressure and then clinching. He weren't really wanting to commit too much either. He was lunging. And people don't realise, the reason people lunge is when you don't really want to commit. Lunging is when you try to get a shot off without being hit. Watch Alvarez fight. Now, unless Alvarez is fighting someone really tricky and really quick on the feet, and because lunging can also be used as an explosive movement to catch your opponent if they're running too quickly from you. But for the main, good pressure fighters don't need to lunge with their shots. They bring their feet with them and they commit. That's what fully committing. When you fully commit to an exchange on the inside, you bring your feet with you. You don't need to lunge. Lunging's when you try and nick a shot and get out of the way. If you bring your feet and just walk forward, you're on top. Liam Williams didn't the whole night. You never actually saw him want to commit. And a great. Let me give you a great example of someone who used to be good at committing. Watch, or both fighters to be fair. Watch Josh Taylor versus Prograis. You don't see a whole bunch of lunging. You see a bunch of 2 men prepared to commit to inside fighting. There wasn't none of that tonight. And Liam Chiniums in particular, who was the pressure fighter, that was disappointing. He should have, and bear in mind people, in my mind I'll be thinking, well, it's not like he wasn't getting hit anyway. He was getting hit clean with a jab anyway. He was getting hit clean with a check hook anyway. So rather than lunging and getting caught because your form's all off because of the explosiveness of the movement, he could have and should have, in my opinion, put his guard up, walked forward, took the same jabs and took the same check hook on his gloves. Because when you're focusing on defense, Liam Williams walking forward, he would have seen that check hook and caught most of them, in my opinion. I don't believe there's no way he'd have got caught clean with it anyway. Because all them check hooks were counters as he was lunging in. Because it's bait. He should have, in my opinion, put his guard up, put his chin down, and just walked forward. And took the same jabs and took the same check hook he was taking, and then committed to some form of offense. At least then he'd have a foot in the game. At least then, if he got knocked down, it'd be 50-50, if you get what I'm saying. Liam Chiniums got put down, and there was no real trade-off, was there? Never once did you see Chris Eubank really think twice about what Chiniums was doing. Which is not that's not how you want a fight to be, from Liam Chiniums' point of view. He should have committed properly, I believe. And to be fair to Adam Booth, in the last round, Adam Booth said, be smart, but you need to commit. In my opinion, it was too little too late by that point. We know, it's a well-known strategy these days, that people who are winning a fight on points decisively will just run around for the last round. So Liam Chiniums needed that talk about 3 rounds earlier. He should have been told in round 8 or round 9, empty the tank and commit. Go for it. You're getting touched anyway, go for it. Walk forward, Don't worry about what's coming back. Obviously, do what you can to parry and catch or whatever, and just get stuck in, man. Yeah, go Terminator mode. That's what you're going to have to do in front of your home crowd. And I'm afraid to say, people, what are we doing here? Yeah, Liam Williams, you showed over the last 8 rounds that you ain't slick like that. You weren't going to out-slick him. So I'm afraid to say, you're in front of your home crowd. What would you like me to do? People say, YB, you just want to see Rock'em Sock'em. You don't want to... Listen, I'm just telling you the facts. The facts are, you had 8 rounds to try to be Floyd Mayweather. You couldn't do it. Therefore, what other options do you have? Exactly. The YB right again. You don't have no other options. Your options are, if you want to win in front of your home team, get your elbows in, get your chin down, and walk forward. That's it. Or don't and lose as you did lose. Oops. Yeah? And that's the bottom line here. Don't hear no more about it. Oh, the problem with you, YB, is you just want to see Rock'em Sock'em. No, I want to see people win. In my mind, it's about winning or not. Too many dons these days are happy to turn up and, well, if I can win by doing the bare minimum, or if I can win by doing the bare minimum, I'll win. If not, I'll take it or leave it. People ain't really fussed. You don't see people like, for example, look at Arturo Gatti versus Floyd Mayweather. Even though he was getting pieced up, he's still trying to find a way to win. He's still, you know what I mean? He was still trying to find a way to battle through and find a way. Where's them kind of cats at? When was the last time you saw someone try and find a way to win? Look at Johnston versus Ruiz in the first fight. Show me where in that fight he's trying to win. You know what I mean? Not once. He happy to lose. Yeah? These guys, I don't know, they ain't got the substance. Yeah? They ain't got the... I think ultimately it probably comes down to greatness. That's really what makes people great. And it's obviously, greatness, not everyone can be great. And there's a reason it's a 0.01%. Because it's a rare quality to have. But yeah, let me run for my notes. Oh yeah, Liam Chiniums, he started mouthing off at the end of the second round, at the end of the 10th round, going into the last championship rounds, the last 2 rounds, he started mouthing off, and I thought, he's done that a whole bunch. He kept mouthing off at the end of the round, but then not much followed it, which I don't get. That's not as bad as what Eubank was doing, but still, it's similar kind of stuff. Why are you mouthing off and then not following through? If you're going to mouth off at the end of the round, you best go in there and be super rock hard. But I didn't really see Liam Chiniums get his lipstick out the whole night. Did you? I didn't see it. Yeah, he was being the aggressor versus someone running, but I never saw him really 100% go for it. He was happy just to sit back and not be, you know what I'm saying? He was happy to press, but not, you know what I mean? He never really wanted to commit, as I've explained. Anyway,